Hello, my name is Leander Reeves. I'm a senior lecturer in the publishing department here. I'm also the subject coordinator for the publishing media undergraduate course. My history with the course goes back quite far, actually. I came to Oxford Poly in 1992 and did a combined degree of visual studies and publishing. This is a time that I tell my students when dinosaurs roamed the earth and there was no internet, and we had to read books, and it's very different. So I did this course, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it a great deal. Hence, when I decided that now would be a good time to be a lecturer, many years on, I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. But the great thing about having that insight is that I've seen the course benefit me in my career. So I went on to do a master's in electronic media, and went on to the sort of more digital and design side of publishing. So I was a web, an interactive and print designer in London and New York. So I did leave Oxford at some point. I didn't always stay here. But it also means that I've watched my friends benefit from the course as well. So I have friends who have gone on to be journalists, to be travel writers, to have set up their own businesses, to have worked in electronic publishing as well as print, to go into marketing and PR, every range you can think of. And I think that's really great. So I have seen firsthand that this course is, I think, an investment degree. So wherever the journey takes you, wherever your life goes, you might end up running your own publishing company, you might end up breeding llamas in Wales. Wherever you go, I think this course will stay with you, and it is a good investment degree. As a professional degree, we are very much embedded in the industry, and that's really important because the industry employs our students, and our undergraduates go into a real range of different professions and career pathways. So we have an industry advisory board. So every June, we all get dressed up, and I wear a lot of pearls, and we go and present the course to people in the industry, from academic to trade to book to magazine to digital publishing. And they have a real vested interest in the course because they employ our students, they employ our graduates, and they also help us secure work placements. So we encourage and recommend that students do work placements. We do help with that. But our students are very independent, and before we know it, they've actually managed to secure quite a range of different placements, either in Oxford or from their home town or from London. And that's the great thing about our location, is that the bus to London is 24 hours and it drops you outside the university and in central London. So it's good for clubbing as well as work placements. So nice mix. Students go on to work in a variety of different pathways with the undergraduate course, and I think this comes back to what I was saying about it being an investment, because you choose and move around, and this idea that someone has one job that they do for 40 years I think is kind of over now. So I'm seeing that our undergraduates are going into newspapers, online and in print, as well as magazines, everything from food and drink to photography to regional magazines, as well as more traditional ideas of publishing, so book publishing, but also digital e-books. So we've seen students go into large sort of conglomerate publishing, as well as small niche ones, local publishers, ones in London, ones abroad. I mean, just everywhere. But also we're seeing students, graduates now, working in companies that do sort of branding and licensing and syndication, that are working with TV and radio and broader media. So it's a real mix. It really is publishing media at its widest idea. I'm really proud of our publishing students, actually. They're kind of amazing. They graduate with a set of transferable skills, which they learn through a lot of hard work. We are very careful about interviewing students because we need to know that you're going to be able to work collaboratively as well as independently, and that mix is really important. So the employers that take our publishing students, they think they're marvellous because they hit the ground running. They know what they're doing, They're not scared. They will speak to people abroad via the phone or in person or for Skype. They are able to work with authors. There's a get up and go about them, but also a kindness, I think. And I hear that they're also lovely to work with. And they constantly make me very proud, actually. And they do keep in contact. Our alumni links are amazing, and I think that's really lovely. And I think that reflects on the fact that we're a small community. We like our students, we know our students. My colleagues are awesome, we all get on well, and that carries on. So things like the London Book Fair that we have a stand at, we're the only publishing course I can think of that has a stand every year. And we have this huge alumni party on the Tuesday. Lots of cake, very important. And students current students get to meet the most extraordinary range of alumni from all around the world who are here for the book fair. And that kind of link, I think, is another reason why employers like our students, because they're just lovely and they network very well. So the Publishers Association and the industry, our industry advisory board, as well as the Independent Publishers Guild, great many of the industry links within the industry have a vested interest in this course. So that's brilliant for students because they come in and do lectures. And I think it's great that they are interested in the course because they employ our students. So they need to be interested. That's great. But things like the Publishers Association in the summer had a meeting for all the course leaders around the country, and so we went up and talked to them about what was happening on the course, and that was great because they were able to tell us what's happening in the industry, what patterns and trends are taking place. So that means that we prepare our students to face those challenges that the industry sees firsthand on the front line. So we have extraordinary professional links to this degree, and I think that's really great and keeps us on our toes, and I think the students really benefit from it. We are an international course, and this comes out in some of the ventures that we go on. So every year our colleagues at the University of Applied Arts in Amsterdam bring their Dutch students over to work with my students. In February they're coming this year, and every year my undergraduates and two colleagues go over to Amsterdam to work with the University of Applied Arts there. And we go over there for a week, or about 4 days, for Dutch Book Week, which is kind of amazing and great fun. And there's also the London Book Fair, which is obviously very international. This year, 5 of my undergraduates went to the Frankfurt Book Fair with our MA, which was an amazing adventure. But also there are Erasmus and international exchanges. So some of my students, at least once a year, will go abroad. So they might go to California. California seems to be very popular, and I can't imagine why. And Australia. And we're linked with universities all over the world. So there are adventures to be had internationally. And also, it's not just a course full of UK students. We have nationalities from all around the world here as well, which just enriches your publishing understanding and connections. Great for book fairs. So we're very proud of our internationalization here. My colleagues are great. They are great fun, and we have all worked in the industry. We all come from a great range of different backgrounds, everything from design to production to editorial to marketing to digital. Everything you can think of we probably cover. And a lot of my colleagues are still working in the industry. So our lecturers, sort of fractional lecturers that work in the industry for the rest of the time. Some have their own businesses. I'm a full-time lecturer. So my industry days are a little bit behind me, but I still, still do consultancy work and still have industry connections which benefit my students. And also a lot of my colleagues are research active. So when they're not working with businesses and charities for consultancy, they're also research active in their scholarly expertise as well. So some of my colleagues are book and culture scholars. So as well as working on consultancy projects. So we do training for industry. We have summer schools. So there's a real mix of different backgrounds, which means that your coursework is based on our industry knowledge, not stuff we read in a book that we made up. And that's really important, I think. And students benefit from those industry links. And being a lecturer is great. So moving in from industry into academia, it's brilliant. It's really interesting, and I think we're a happy bunch because of that.